you go over there, you pay the. Okay.
Why? Why did it go in for him?
Just finish
I'm
explaining Craigslist.
No,
Yeah,
I'm
go
gonna
ahead.
tell the story.
No,
Okay.
explain.
Okay.
No, explain Craigslist.
Okay. Hold on. Remove the Craig bar, or else it's just gonna look stupid in the video.
No,
Just
come
saying.
on. I'll edit it out.
Fine. Okay, basically, back to the PS4 part. You message him how you're interested. You guys go meet somewhere. You give him the money. He gives you the PS4. You guys go separate ways.
That's sketchy. Okay, go tell the story.
Okay, can I please tell the story now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Scary story.
Okay, first off, I'm not really sure if this qualifies as a scary story in the typical sense, but when I was heard about it, it was pretty sketched out. Anyways, ever since I was a kid, I've gone to this day camp near my town during the summer. And this year, now that I'm old enough, I work there. At the camp we use somewhat fancy walkie-talkies to communicate with each other. It sounds kind of childish when I say it aloud, but they come in handy when you gotta ask another group something and they're all in the way on the other side of the camp. This year there was a lot of changes due to some misconduct that occurred last season, which means the camp got a new look. This included brand new walkie-talkies that could apparently reach much further than the old ones. It was about 2 weeks into the summer when it happened. It is important to know that this story came from my friend who also worked at the camp. We call him N. At the time, N was at the rock climbing wall with this group. It was here when he started hear static coming through the walkie-talkie. Our camp is on shore of a marsh, so N and the other staff in his group concluded that the messages were just caused by passing boat or something like that. After a while, however, they began to hear their voices mixed in with the static. At first, they didn't quite know what they were hearing. This was because they were picking up several men, all talking over each other, all talking to each other, seemingly in another sort of code. After stepping away from the group as to not freak out the campers, and the other staff listening closely to the messages, this is when they heard one of the men say the phrase 187, 187 at the waterfront. The man saying this continued to repeat it, occasionally asking if anyone copied. It was by this point that N and his fellow staff had figured out what was going on. It was the police. Practically, N searched on his phone to figure out what the police were talking about and why they were here. It was then that his phone loaded up the meaning of the code. The meaning of 187 means it was homicide. There was a homicide in the marsh. It wasn't until later that day that N told me about this, and by that point, all the staff I heard were talking about it. Apparently, whatever the police were doing had nothing to do with the camp, but it still scared the shit out of me to find out that a murder had happened so close to the kids that I protected while she was sleeping on a sleeping bag. During that time, in the video, the girl was crying, but what was keeping her from being heard was a sleeping bag was over her mouth while the substitute teacher is suffocating her. The video was on site named Dark Video. Most of the stuff on there was funny, but how I found this video was when I clicked the option for the site to take me on to a random video, and that's how I discovered this video. I don't know if it was real, but it looked real enough.
So you saw this on the dark web, or what?
That was a short ass story.
So, is this like elementary kids, like preschoolers, or how?
Yeah, kindergarten.
Okay.
Jesus.
What people do for money.
I like how you write him, like if it was like a book. That's cool. If it was me, I would just say, there was this lady that was killing this little girl. And then I'll put the date that I saw it.
I can tell you about the one time I saw a shadow with red eyes.
I think that's sleep paralysis. Just saying.
It's still a scary story, though. It is scary as hell, believe it or not.
Have you ever had sleep paralysis?
Yes.
How does it feel?
Okay.
Like sleep paralysis?
Okay.
Well, I never had sleep paralysis, dumbass. That's what I'm asking.
Okay. You basically
I want to experience sleep paralysis.
Okay. How can I explain it? Like, you can't... Like, your mind is half awake and half asleep. The half awake part is the only thing... You can't only look. You can't even move your head whatsoever.
Or talk. Am I right?
What?
Or talk?
I'm confused.
Because you're saying
like you
like,
can't,
your mind
like,
is
you can't sleep or talk. I mean, you can't
sleep,
sleep
half
or
awake.
talk.
Yeah, but he's saying that Because you're saying all you can do is look, can't move your head or anything. And as he was like, or talk, right?
Yeah.
Hey, there you go. There's the answer
And
to your question.
and like you can't move nothing whatsoever, and you just see like scary, or most of the time it's scary stuff, or like demons or some shit.
I'm sorry
Yeah.
about that.
Yeah. Okay, want me to tell the story?
Okay.
Okay, this is gonna be the last story for the Craig Bot. Okay.
I mean,
You need to leave that in there.
No.
Yeah, leave that in there.
Fine.
Valuable.
During the
I
summer, my
didn't
mother
mean-
will. Okay, during the summer, my mother will leave us at home alone. It was me, my brother, and my very younger sister. Anyway, one day while I was walking towards my mother's room, mother's bedroom to go to the restroom, I heard a voice that told me to come to him. I stopped and looked towards the stairs, and there was an outline of a shadow. It had glowing red eyes. It had his arms crossed on the floor and his head resting over them while the rest of his body was on the stairs. I couldn't see it, just his head and arms. It told me to come to him again. I ignored it and started walking away. I thought it was my imagination, and yes, I was terrified, but I kept walking. On my way back, I looked towards the stairs, and it was still there. I saw this man a couple of more times, and every time I saw it, it told me to come to him. I never told anyone about this because my parents thought I was losing my mind. They had taken me to a psychiatrist, and I was on meds, so I didn't want to aggravate the situation and make them think I was even crazier. Reasons my parents took me to psychiatrists was because I was hearing things and seeing shadows, nothing like the man in the stairs. My parents were in denial that weird things were happening to all of us, but I was the only vocal one that had the most encounters with these entities. Hence, that when I was taken to the doctor, who said I had, how the fuck do you say this? Schizophrenic?
What?
Schizophrenic? Or I don't
Schizophrenic?
know. Yeah, thank you. And put me on hard meds. My mom later took me off of them when she saw how it kept me asleep for most of the day, and deep down she knew I wasn't crazy.
That's bad.
Face-
Jesus. I'm sorry.
Fast forward to a couple of years ago, my mother would have finally admitted that the house must have been haunted because she saw shadows all over the house. Things went missing. We would find dead animals outside our door, rotten food thrown into our yard. My sister, who was 7 years younger than me and about 4 years old when this was happening, was also talking to the man downstairs. She called him Chris. Not long ago, my mother and I were
Jesus Christ.
talking about the strange occurrences in our house. My brother heard me telling my mom and shit about the shadow man with the red glowing eyes. He stopped dead and said he saw him too. Then he proceeded to describe the shadow, and he even said the man told him to go to him. He described the same exact sense to the shadow and even said the shadow bobbed its head from one side to another, which is exactly what I saw. We were both certain we saw the same thing at different times, but my brother never said anything to anyone because he was ready to be taken to a psychiatrist like I was. As he grew older, he convinced himself he had imagined that man. So when he heard me telling my mother what I had seen, he was really surprised and couldn't believe he wasn't imagining things. There's many more things that happened to us when we lived in the house, but for example, my friends would wait for us to come home to our to our house every day. Oh fuck! I lost my pace. One of them told us that while he was waiting for us, sitting on the steps of our house, he looked out the window and saw a face of a man. He knew nobody was home, so this freaked him out, and he got up and left. From that day, he would wait for us to come out at our other friend's house and refuse to come into our house. I'm generally wondering about this shadow man because both my brother and I saw it. I believe the shadow was the main spirit in our house and the one causing the chaos. I don't think my house only had one entity, but many, and this was most evil of them all, which is why I'm bringing it up. A lot more things happened to us while living here, but the shadow really scares me to this day. That's it.
Okay, first off, all I gotta say is peace.
Fuck you, I was young.
Yay. How can you
Yeah.
be scared of a shadow, demon? Stupid faggot.
I was young. So fuck off, okay?
Yeah,
I'm
we
just
just have to make
kidding.
fun.
Yeah.
What was I gonna say?
Good.
Crap.
Is that like on your old house or like?
Yeah,
Or is
old
that the
one.
current house? Oh, okay.
Jesus Christ, Sander, you might be ghost raped. Just saying.
Fuck, what was I gonna say? I had something to say. Uh,
So his name was Chris.
hello?
Okay. Did he leave?
I
Wrong,
don't
yeah.
know.
Oh, was his name
Oh.
Chris? Okay, ignore me again.
Cut out.
Oh, wait, who cut out?
I don't know.
What's his name?
Okay, I
Chris.
can tell you about or that's what my sister called it.
I mean, if he
But you'll
has,
be scared
like,
as
if
hell
he's
if you
not
actually
doing
saw what I
anything.
saw, though. I'm being completely
Well, no
serious.
shit, we're gonna be completely scared. I mean, we might be making fun of you, but we're all pussies on the inside.
Okay, want me to tell you
Yep.
about a potential sleep paralysis?
I want to experience that. I want to see how. I probably like poop. I soil myself.
No, wait, nah, not that one.
What happened? What do you think would happen if you actually went with him?
Maybe you get anally pounded.
Okay,
It'll
here's a
emperor.
really short. I can tell you a very short story.
Like your pee.
Sure.
Okay, I was at my grandpa's house with my cousin Savannah. Everyone was outside and no one ever went upstairs, but we heard banging and footsteps. We got up and looked up the stairs, and a suitcase flew across the room. We got
Wait,
scared and
Sander.
ran outside. What?
What did you hear?
Banging and footsteps.
Okay,
Of
continue.
course you would, Edgar.
Continue.
This is why I can't finish stories.
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
What do you
Finish
mean?
quite a couple.
Okay, can I please finish?
Yes.
We got up and looked up the stairs, and a suitcase flew across the room. We got scared and ran outside, but I slipped and felt something digging into my skin. And I screamed, but Savannah was already outside. Then I got lost and ran for my life back to my real house and explained everything to my mom. She grabbed me and then hugged me. My grandpa moved a few weeks later, and when something rained down the stairs into his room right across from the door upstairs and knocked over a lamp and pulled his blanket off his bed. Yeah.
So so you actually been haunted before, basically.
Mhm.
You should be a Ghostbuster.
You should bust.
I still got a lot more
Ghost.
stories. For scary reasons.
So wait, I don't. Okay, from the other story, what's it called? Was that guy like the shadow dude? Was it just like sitting there?
Yeah, just saying to come to him.
Well, what we actually think will happen if you actually just stepped under?
I would not like to know.
Like, would have given you powers.
Become a demon yourself. Blue Exorcist.
You can become you can become black, dude.
No. Jesus
Why
Christ,
is
Edgar.
that
You need to get
madness?
demonetized real quick.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Nobody
dude.
cares.
I mean, I don't think we would. It's such a small like channel.
My car's pimping. It's here.
Guys, I gotta tried it in Minecraft.
Okay. I can read the title.
Eric, what do you
want
want your stickman color to be?
Okay, go ahead.
I
Wait,
think my
Sander,
sister
before
tried
you-
to eat me up. Oh, okay.
Oh, okay. What's your color? What's your favorite color, Sander?
Black.
Okay, emo. Okay, what's your favorite color, Eric?
I'd have to go with like a black or red or a combination of black and red.
I'll just color you red.
Okay, now what about you, child?
Okay. I like
I can
purple.
tell you about a girl at the end of the hallway.
I think that's a nightmare, Sander.
I mean, I don't know. These are so scary stories, Edgar, so shut up.
Like,
At least I'm telling
real
you
scary stories?
Yes, they're real. I'm not fucking making it up.
Okay.
I mean, you just gotta make sure sometimes because there are people who.
Yeah.
I'm not that much of an asshole.
Yeah.
Alright, we'll
So-
continue on. That's.
Completely silence or story time?
I feel that. Let's go.
Okay.
I can tell you about a sleep paralysis one. Since Edgar wants to
Yes,
be really curious.
Yeah. I want to see you. I want to
Okay, when I was a kid. Okay, let me tell the story, please. When I was a kid.
Okay.
Oh my fucking god. When I was a kid, I would often get some. Am I not gonna be able to talk here,
Yes,
or
you're gonna be able to. Sorry.
okay? When I was a kid, I would often get sleep paralysis because I never knew there was a word for it until a couple of years ago when Shane Dawson mentioned it or something. But anyways, I specifically remember one night when I was about 5 or 6. I had it again. I tried to scream and move, but it never worked. But that night was different. See, when you have sleep paralysis, it feels like hours when in reality it's only been like 30 seconds. I saw someone step out of my closet and make direct eye contact with me. I'm not sure how long he stood in the door of my closet, but a few moments later, he just walked away. I never felt such terror in my life, and I cannot describe it. When I finally got control over my body, I screamed like hell and I woke everyone up. Ever since then, I still have a weird feeling about my closet. I don't know why they still freak me out, but ever since that night, it's kind of stuck. It kind of stuck.
Well, burn the closet. That's all I gotta say.
I can't.
I'll burn the
I
house
can't
down.
sleep with my closet open. Like if I wake up and my closet's open, I just
You
go and
can't see.
close it. Yeah, like I cannot wake up.
I mean, I have my closet open all the time. I'm gotten used to it. I think the only thing that was scary for my both my jacket and my fedora are hanging on the door. So if I ever wake up and and I don't know what the hell I'm at or anything like that, because that's happened, I'll probably wake up, look at my door, get scared the hell out of fucking life, have an out of body experience, and then realize that I'm just fucking stupid.
Oh, have you seen that meme? It's like, my
I
pile
can tell you a
closed
story about the
at
old man
day,
in the mall in the old man in the mall parking lot.
and
It
then
was like in
wait, I was
2017, so it was
finishing
like
my
2 years
meme
ago.
before you
I'm
really
sorry.
interrupted. Just
Fine.
kidding, Sander. We do that to
I
each
can
other.
stop telling stories here, mate.
No, wait, okay, wait. 'Cause it's like a meme. It says my close pile a day, and then my close pile at 3 a.m. and it's like
At
a
3
demon
a.m.
child.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I know what you're talking
that's like actually. That's what I used to have. Like when I was little, I guess I was like scared, like of anything. So when I closed my eyes and like opened them for 1 second, like I could see the figure of like a
A
guy,
person.
and then that scared me.
Okay, you want me to tell you? No, this was in 2017, so this was like 2 years ago.
Wait,
Would
7,
you
yeah,
like to know this one?
yeah. Look, balls.
It was 2017. I was in the parking lot with my older cousin waiting for his mom to come back so we could go home, but me and my cousin were in the parking lot at the back for some reason. She only took the back way into Walmart probably to get where she wanted to go faster. It was 11:30. It was late and we were in the parking lot outside the car. I was in front of my cousin. We were talking about video games. I saw this old man walk by him, then I saw him behind the car beside us looking through the window. He walked around trying to sneak up on my older cousin. I saw an old man with a rag in his hand that had black stuff on it. He was hunched over and was walking slowly closer to my cousin. Then I saw him right behind my cousin. I froze and tried to talk, but I was too scared. My cousin turned around because he saw my pale face. And he saw the old man speed walk away, limping me, and my cousin got into his mom's truck. We were very scared, talking about what just happened. I saw a middle-aged woman crouching behind a window, and I clicked the button to lock all doors. And the lady that was crouching behind the car got up and pressed up her face against the back window. I told my cousin to hide. He hid. I was again too scared to remove. I looked at her right in the eyes. It looked like she was insane. That I think about it, I think the old man was gonna grab my cousin and take him. Then the lady behind her car was gonna crouch around the car and take me, so I didn't run. And I think the black stuff on the rag was liquid to put him to sleep. I couldn't imagine what could have happened if I didn't notice the lady behind the car. She could have opened the door and took us. We didn't tell anyone, but now it's on the internet. Sorry for the bad grammar. That's it.
So pretty much you're about to both you and your cousin.
Yee.
That's the gist of it.
I mean, it's actually scary if you actually see.
Yeah,
Trust me.
I know exactly why it'd be scary. Hell no, man. Shit, I don't know. Are you even here, Edgar? Edgar.
So this is like you guys' bedtime stories.
Is he even in the call still? He is. He has to
Edgar.
go do something.
Probably can't hear us. Hold on. I got it.
Dude, this is like the worst village spawn ever. Dude, a village spawned right next to a pillager.
Okay. Should I wait for Edgar to say something before I say the next one? Because another one's sleep paralysis.
I mean, I'd assume so. Edgar?
Sorry, I'm back. I didn't want to say anything because I didn't want to interrupt.
That's fine. Okay, I can tell you a simple ghost encounter.
I mean,
I don't think I ever encountered ghosts like that. It's real.
Want me to tell you about this story then?
Yeah.
I was around 9 years old. I don't remember the exact dates. This is the best I can retell. I finally decided to read a word book that I had for a while. I don't remember much about it, other than the fact that there was the text on the left and the illustrations on the right. And I skipped to the last page. The illustration on the page has skulls on them, but they weren't realistic in any way. I thought nothing of it as I forgot about it till that night. I was always scared of the dark, and even now, I can get pretty paranoid of it. So I had the hall light on and my air mattress keeping the door open. Back then, I slept on my stomach, and when I got into that position, a ghost appeared at the foot of my bed. The details of the ghost are rather hazy, and I didn't get a clear look at the face, but I remember it was humanoid,
Humanoid.
probably female, really tall,
My favorite ghost.
7 or 8 feet, and it had cut off arms a bit below the shoulder. I quickly turned to look at her for only her to vanish in white smoke. At first, I tried to ignore it and turn back to try to sleep again to see the smoke rematerialize and turn back quickly again, only for it to disappear again. At that point, I was freaked out and got up to go to tell my mom, who simply told me to go sleep in my sister's room, which did make me feel a bit safer. I turned on the closet light and went to lay down in her bed. At that point, the first thing that was weird to me was I saw a reflection in the window that looked to me like some kind of moral about cowboys. I found in the morning it was still there and just a reflection of a messy closet. The other thing that happened not long after was when I closed my eyes, I felt a lick on my cheek. There was a big dog pushing next to me. I opened my eyes and looked at it for a bit before finally getting some rest. After that night, nothing like it happened to me again. But I also never saw that book again. Either way, I didn't question it at all. All that much after that.
I'm back. I'm
but
sorry.
I still remember it was rather a scary experience.
Wait, that reminds me of something. Have you guys ever seen a show or something? But okay, so if you see a show, an episode, and you see the same episode a week after, and then you see the same episode, but there's you think something changed, so you could swear something's wrong.
Yeah.
That's weird. That creeps me out a little. It's what happens if they change the episodes, or if they change. Have you experienced that, Sander?
What?
Eric, explain it, please.
Basically, whenever you see a TV episode, watch it again after, but you swear that something about the episode is different.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
That's weird.
Okay, want me to tell you a story where I think someone tried to kill me?
Is it Karen again?
No.
For not turning your hotspot on?
I like my scary stories better, in my opinion.
I mean, both of your stories are amazing.
Thank you.
I like hotspot Karen.
At least I can tell my story is pretty decent, at least, so it's understandable.
Guys, I'm still scared. I'm so scared. I'm scared.
Okay, want me to tell you where I think someone tried to kill me?
Yeah. Is that every day?
No.
Okay.
Okay, so one day I was watching TV and noticed one of the knives from the knife thing, I think it's a knife block, I don't know, was missing. So a couple of days later, I heard shuffling under my bed. I don't think much of it. I didn't think of much of it. So I went to the bathroom. I heard faint footsteps, and when I woke up, my window was open. 3 days later, I found the knife under my bed. And then I updated the
Jesus.
notes right here. Update. I just got back to my house. I was at my grandparents today. When I got back, it was not there. It had like a clown figure, but right when I saw it, it disappeared. But just I don't know. It
I
I
was
think
just like
weird.
you're.
how you like your killer.
Oh, my bad, Eric.
Okay, I finished. You can go ahead, Edgar.
Oh, I think you're like haunted by Satan or something.
Probably.
Just saying.
Or you
Hmm.
could be Satan's hellspawn.
Or
Or Satan's spawn, I mean.
I
you're
can
gonna
tell
have
you a
a wild
Halloween story.
imagination.
About the what?
You can
Halloween.
probably
A Halloween story.
Halloweener, huh?
Mm-hmm.
You're
You want
funny.
me to tell you that story?
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay, what are you
Anything
gonna
that
say, Edgar?
entertains me, cause I'm bored. Oh, cause probably just walk around. Like, how's that called? When you sleep, but you still walk around.
Sleepwalking?
Yeah, yeah.
I don't
That's
do
yeah,
that.
yeah. And then you just grab knives and put them under your bed.
Okay. Last year on Halloween night, it was around midnight on Halloween night. This was last year actually, but I was over at my granny and granddad's house with my siblings
Great.
and my mom and dad. Yeah, yes, Edgar, leave me alone. Okay, I was
Okay,
too lazy.
okay. I'm sorry. I was just laughing. Jesus Christ! I'm
I thought it would be
crucifying me.
normal night, but it wasn't. I woke up and looked around the room to see a tall woman with long black hair that was down to her hips. I thought it was my mom but I looked over at her and she was fast asleep. I was terrified. I shut my eyes, but it kept coming closer and closer. The more I closed my eyes, there was sweat dripping down, and I was almost crying. Then I could feel someone's hand on my shoulder. I woke up, but it was just my mom telling me that I was asleep and telling me to calm down. I never found out who that woman was, and never slept at night ever since.
I think that was like a fever dream.
Probably.
I was gonna say that makes no sense, but that actually does make sense.
Hey, Eric.
I can tell you
You have
another.
any
No,
spooky
stop.
stories, Eric?
No.
Okay.
Well,
My
But
life
like,
is uninteresting.
poor Caesar though. He can't hear these stories.
I mean, we can just send him an audio file
yeah,
or the
but I have
actual
to
I
mix
video.
can tell
it.
you
I
one
have
time
to
where I
mix
witnessed a
it.
murder.
I.
Okay,
My mom ran over a
okay,
cat, so
okay. Hold up.
You
At
what,
about
Edgar?
1 a.m.
Oh shit,
Okay,
sorry.
my mom.
okay. I'm gonna tell the story real quick. At about one at about 1 a.m., I was awake with my brother playing some video games when we heard some yelling outside of our window. Hold on, I'll change my AirPod first and I'll restart
Yee.
because or else it's just gonna die while I'm telling the story in the middle.
Did Karen take them?
No.
You just need to keep coming back to Karen.
Yeah, fuck you, Karen. You're out there. If your name is Karen, fuck.
I regret that decision immediately. I regret this.
Okay. At about 1 a.m., I was awake with my brother playing some video games when we heard some yelling outside of our window. So we paused the game and I peek out the window and see a man shoot another man in the chest with a rifle. The man pretty much dropped instantly and we called the police. There was a girl there who I assumed was the girlfriend of the man who was shot. And she was just screaming hysterically. It was generally horrifying to witness someone die. He was dead before the medics and police showed up, but they did compressions and everything out of protocol. The shooter was arrested, and the investigation is still ongoing. It's pretty much an open and shut case, given that the shooter literally waited for the cops to arrive. They took the gun off of him and everything, and he got arrested. We had a perfect view of everything from my window, and I saw the body. I'm still jumping when I hear loud noises, even as I'm writing this. My heart goes out to the people who knew the man. I can't imagine what they're going through right now. It all happened so fast, and there was nothing more anyone could have done. I know reading this probably doesn't come off as that scary, but I literally witnessed someone die right outside my house. The thing scarier than that would be for someone to die inside of your house, in my opinion. That's it.
You know what I just thought about when you said that? Like the girlfriend. It's like it's Karen. It's like Jesus Christ, Karen. Do you ever shut the hell up? That's what I thought about. So I made it fun. That's why I laughed. And like if you if you heard me laugh. I think if I ever witnessed a murder, I think I would freak out a little bit.
I was
Oh,
gonna
look, a
say,
cactus.
honestly, I think I would just stand there and actually be like, "Wow, pretty cool." But I think personally, I'd be freaking.
It's okay. It doesn't sound scary, but it is.
Oh hell yeah, dude.
Be right back.
Yeah. Fuck, I had a question. I had no idea what it was now. Damn. What's my question? Oh, what game were you guys playing?
I'm not playing anything. I'm just reading
No, I
it.
was talking about like when you're talking about the story of how you and your brother were playing a game.
I think we were playing Mortal Kombat.
Neat.
Yeah.
I just had to be one. I just had to be the idiot. I'm sorry.
I think it was Mortal Kombat and Shaolin Monks.
Or else
I
this was
remember
like
correctly.
in the PS2 days.
Yee.
Yee. I mean, like the only interesting thing I probably have is just like one of my oldest cousins, my cousin Lionel, used to tell us about how you could tell if somebody was like it was a demon or something. Like I remember him. If there's a shadow, but nobody is casting that shadow, make sure to keep your mouth never to speak around.
Really?
Because of my understanding, if you were to speak, like I guess go into your mouth. I'm not trying to say this like, but like go into your mouth and possesses you. With my understanding, that's like one of the things he used to tell us. And if you ever saw like I guess like a shadow ghost, red eyes, to make sure you never stared at it, or you never. Yee.
I can tell you about a time once I was around 11. I almost got kidnapped by a crazy woman.
I mean,
I'm gonna wait for Edgar to come back.
Are they really crazy though, or is it just people being natural? Dude, I found a freaking village, but right next to the village. Get in the chest.
Or let me find a good one. I can tell you about an evil neighbor.
An evil neighbor?
Yee.
I'm honestly interested in that one.
Okay. You think we should tell Caesar to get in here?
Maybe? Oh, you can't place... That makes me... I need a shield, that's what I need.
You should see if Caesar can join the call. See, so
me to see.
I mean, that's if you want to.
I mean, I thought you had decided, like, let's see if he wants to join. It's like, okay.
I can hear you playing GTA.
Yeah. I'm playing Minecraft.
Mm-hmm. Bippity boppity, your kiss is not my property.
Whatever.
Tell that I'm telling scary stories. Or I'm telling stories in general.
My keyboard one messed up.
Ow. Oh yeah, your boy has a weird ass life.
I mean, sometimes I wish my life could be interesting. Like, I like how it is now. It's just that sometimes I wish something would happen every so often. So he probably would be on by now.
Hey, you can do that. You can just join, be
True.
muted, just listen.
This one isn't really a story, nor is it really a story. Yeah.
Hey, Caesar's gonna join Edgar, but
what? I have to go
Caesar's
anyway.
gonna join the call, but he's gonna be muted. Huh?
I have to go.
Really?
Okay.
Wait, what happened? What was gonna happen?
I was gonna tell one more story. I was gonna
Caesar
tell
just
another
joined.
one.
I can stay for the one more story,
Okay.
and
This
then
one's
after
about
that,
my evil neighbor.
let's.
And you go over there, you pay the. Okay. I'm gonna tell-
Why did it join for him?
Just
Okay,
finish
I'ma go
explaining Craigslist.
No,
Yeah, go
I'm gonna
ahead.
tell the story.
No,
Okay.
explain.
Okay.
No, explain Craigslist.
Okay. Hold on. Remember the Craig bar? Or else it's just gonna look stupid in the video.
No,
Just
come
saying.
on. I'll edit it out.
Fine. Okay, basically, back to the PS4 part. You message him how you're interested. You guys go meet somewhere. You give him the money. He gives you the PS4. You guys go separate ways.
That's sketchy. Okay, go tell the story.
Okay, can I please tell the story now?
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
scary story.
Okay, first off, I'm not really sure if this qualifies as a scary story in the typical sense, but when I was heard about it, it was pretty sketched out. Anyways, ever since I was a kid,